Hello guys, so in this lecture we'll talk about what is blockchain as a service and what is Ethereum Blockchain Consortium by Microsoft. So blockchain as a service is actually a licensing model where the blockchain is being offered as a service on the cloud. So it's a delivery model in which the blockchain is licensed on a subscription basis. Fundamentally, and at the foundational level it is itself and is still a cloud service which is actually offering the infrastructure to you, which you can use to deploy the blockchain. So 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 it will be, so in this scenario the blockchain will be formed in the cloud. If we are talking about the Azure blockchain as a service, then the whole blockchain will be formed inside the Azure cloud, and the node count can be controlled by the user. The whole blockchain can be deployed with few clicks. The blockchain parameter itself can be also be controlled by the server owner who has the SSH access, and many different type of blockchain can be set up in the few clicks from the interface. So uh, so this blockchain as a service is giving you a methodology to focus on the application development rather than the building the infrastructure by yourself, setting up the nodes, connecting them to each other, which is of course a troublesome and a long process and wasting your time. So blockchain as a service will allow you to just click and then launch the servers very easily. So blockchain as a service will actually allow you to, with a few handful of user inputs and simple clicks and deployment, right? You can launch the entire blockchain and create a network topology which you can use for your application development. So you don't have to worry about the deployment of the infrastructure. You can just focus on your application development. So Ethereum consortium is actually a Ethereum blockchain setup pre-compiled by Microsoft. So it's a setup, it's a setup or a pre-compiled template which you can use to launch your own Ethereum network. So this solution template is designed to make it sufficiently easy and quicker to deploy the and configure the consortium Ethereum network with the minimal Azure and the Ethereum knowledge. So you don't have to be expert of Azure or the Ethereum to deploy this consortium on the Azure. So with the handfuls of user input, and with a simple click deployment through the Azure portal, you can provision the fully configured blockchain network topology in few minutes using Microsoft Azure Compute networking storage service across the globe. So remember, we'll be we'll be showing you how to set up this, how to click, where to click, how to select and what to select, and what are the configurations option before you launch it. Then the network consists of a set of load balancers. So what we are going to actually design is actually a load balancer. Let me show you if I have this right now here. Okay, so this will be our infrastructure setup where we'll be actually creating a transaction subnet and the mining subnet, or we call it a consortium members. So each consortium member will be a subnet, right? And they will be actually having at least one miner inside the each subnet which will be responsible for mining. Each members or the consortium member will be connected to each other, forming a network, right? And this transaction subnet will be the phase which will be connected, which will be actually exposed to the public internet, where the the application or command line can actually execute the transaction by hitting the RPC, remote procedural call, or Ethereum RPC, using the load balancer. So we'll be again having a multiple transaction nodes which will be actually only responsible for making the transaction and reading it, not for mining the transaction. Mining the transaction will be available inside the subnet. So this is the infrastructure that we'll be using, and we are going to deploy it very soon in the next lecture. And then it's simple that, rather than spending hours and hours and hours to set up all these settings, configuring the subnets, Ethereum consortium actually allow you to just deploy this with a one click. So I'm going to show you how to do it, what are the options that you can fill. So of course, through the administrator page, you can configure the additional Ethereum accounts to get started with a smart contract, or you can eventually deploy your entire application in smart contract and start issuing and transferring these some assets, or let's call it a ether, into the virtual account which you have just created. So okay, so let's go ahead and then start logging into the Azure. So we'll just log in into Azure like this, and then we'll start deploying the blockchain, Ethereum blockchain. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you.